When I was 16, my father said, you can do anything you want with your life. You just have to be willing to work hard to get it.
Well, not in that case if you born in India. Because when I born and I was just a kid, my mother forced me to show interest in banking and government job. And at that time, I was not even knowing my whole potential. I was not even knowing what I have to do in this life. Still, my parents were forcing me every single day that government and banking jobs are the best. See, the problem in our society is we always attract toward the things which gives us comfort and so-called employment in return of unproductivity for the rest of the life. No, seriously, my mother told me banking jobs are the best job in this country because you don't have to do anything in that job. Like seriously, if this is the answer, she has a belief that banking is the only job which gives you so much flexibility in the office hours and most of the time you only spend at your desk. Yeah, that was the reason. Well, at that point, I might got persuaded by her, but I realized there are so many things which one can do and even they can follow their passion and they have a dream to pursue. But see, in our country, we have this problem. We always go to those things which gives us a stability at a certain point. Stability is not a term which gives you happiness. Stability is a term where you just give up your weapons and you just drop off your dreams. This is why we have a paranoid for a government job in our country. These jobs doesn't give you any kind of learning. All they teach you how to do mockery, how to do slavery and getting paid for it. But later on when I grew up, I came to know about these jobs a little bit deeper. And I found that these jobs are not the same jobs which they used to be. Now these jobs are just a slavery of the system and the one who does it is just a person who is just looking for a survival. That's it. And a so-called name and recognition in society takes a hell lot of a person. Their dreams, their vision, their hard work, their productivity, etc. and etc. And later on, when I put the perception of my parent aside completely and I got to know the work culture in our country for these jobs, things are becoming very nasty, especially for the work culture in government and banking. And in this video, I'm just going to talk about the banking sector. Well, this banking sector is supposed to be a gentleman white collar sector, but nowadays it's more of a scam. No, I mean it's just a scam. You are never going to trust any bank calls nowadays. You will always fear what if you give some kind of details of your personal account and you will just get hacked, or might be you just become a new part of this scam. And these activities are happening with each of us every single day. Like this well-to-do sector, when it becomes the scam, let's talk about it. Let's start with the history of the bank. Well, if I go to the history, the bank term came from those river banks. Earlier days, these banks used to take goods and the people from one shore to another shore, and that was the whole purpose of the bank. Well, similarly, later on days, this word bank has been translated into a public reserve fund which one can access from any different location of this country. That was the whole purpose of a bank in old days. But in nowadays, the whole language of the bank has been changed. Nowadays, banks are moreover taking charges and cutting charges from your account and from your savings. They put meeting every single year that called annual meet, in which they set their target for every single branch or every single region, and in these targets these all seniors decide how they will going to charge their customer this year differently so that they can maximize the profit of their bank. Nowadays bank becomes so much desperate of a profits, like they also has burned their own hands in just a crave of maximum profit. Like they have given the loan to so many people without having their intention to pay them back, which has been resultant to seizing their asset, and their customer has to pay the fees by having a limit on their account. In this limit, they are refrained to withdraw their funds from a bank for certain limit. As you have heard of Yes Bank, PMC Bank and so on. So let's talk about how bank function. So bank have two factors, one is assets and one is liabilities. In assets, bank provides funds to their customer and charge some interest over that. In liabilities, the customer supposed to keep their funds in a savings or a current account. Bank supposed to pay the interest on the sum which is stored in customer bank account. Well, this is not that simple. If we talk about liabilities, banks also attract so many charges on the fund which is saved by their own customers to the bank, like annual maintenance balance, monthly maintenance balance, checkbook issue charges, NFT charges, RTGS charges, debit card fees, annual fees, and so on. And if we talk about assets, the things are becoming so worse in assets nowadays, like the one not only pay the higher interest but also they have to mandatory buy insurance from the bank. As a favor, that bank has issued a sum of a loan to this customer. Now they have to return a small favor just by taking an health insurance or a property insurance or some other insurance. And if you miss out some kind of payment or repayment back schedule has been not fully matched by the need of the bank, you have to pay penalty. This is not just enough. Bank has so many hidden charges. One is processing fees, other is maintenance account. I mean, most of you are saying this is just a business, right? Like they are giving you money and they have to charge some money, right? I agree to that part. But picture is just started. Things are becoming worse when devil come into the picture, and this devil is known as insurance sector. When this company has merged with the bank, the credibility, the authenticity and every single thing of the bank, which bank supposed to be in their previous days, is not same after they has been merged with this insurance sector. Because nowadays bank does not talk about any investment scheme which has been launched by their bank only. I mean FDs and other profitable schemes for their customers. All they redirect you to this insurance sector, in which you have to invest a wholesome amount to this insurance company by just doing a favor to the bank. And in this funds, you have to pay a certain amount of premium for a useless insurance which deduct every single year from the interest which has been earned from your saved amount. So let me talk about few things about this investment sector. Okay, so investment sector is more of an insurance sector for the bank right now. So these investment plans gives you a useless coverage in returns of your money, which can be your profit every single year, but you are not getting that profit because you are just buying a useless premium for yourself. And they will debit a hell lot of charges from your account, because by naming they have to pay their fund managers for the allocation of their funds in the market, and they forcefully keep a lock-in period for minimum to 7 to 10 years, in which you cannot take back your money from a bank no matter what kind of emergency you are having. Neither you can take a loan over that. I mean, if you are having an FD, so you can always take a loan over your FD, almost 80% of the amount of your FD. Suppose if you have an FD for 1 lakh rupees, you can always get a loan of 80,000 without breaking your FD. But if you are having an insurance plan for 10 lakhs, you cannot even take a loan for 1 lakh rupees over that policy. So it's a trap, it's just a honey trap. And why you get attracted towards it? Because bank do not have any other thing to promise you. They will always promise you that these plans will give you very good return, almost 10 to 12%. But no one will give you a guarantee over it, because you will never going to get that kind of return from these policies. So now let's talk about the profit, and let me show you how. Earlier, if bank has to make a product for their customers, they have to go through this flow chart of product making and then offering to their customers. And it goes like this: bank, profit, more money, more revenue. And for getting that, they have to get a product. And for getting that product, they have to hire a product team. Then they have to do another employment for document and processing team. Then they have to hire some new sales team, which can be called as a client associates or client handling and support team. And of course, when money comes into a picture, they always need to hire a legal team as well. Then they have to hire a legal team, and these all factors consist some amount of cost which bank have to bear, and then all this cost have to bear by the bank, and later on whatever they going to earn from this product, they have to make their profit. So then this is not more money and more revenue. This will be money, expenses, then revenue. So now bank don't have to do any kind of expenses on this kind of teams or processing or legal team. All they have to do, whenever the customers walk into the branch, they will take that customer to the insurance agent like he's a part of a bank, and they will going to offer so many insurance investment plans to that customer and offer them that these investment will give you much more return than any other banking products, nor FD nor RD. This insurance, I mean, bank have to do that. A freedom to a person to speak bad about their own products and sell their products. So there must be a high amount of profit will be coming to the bank, and that is so true. All this insurance plan will give so much revenue to the bank, so much revenue that none of any other products of the bank can match that kind of revenues. Neither the loans, neither the FDs, neither the SIPs, nor mutual funds or any plan. And let me tell you why. Whenever customer going to invest, so this fund will go into an insurance sector company funds. Bank do not have to take any kind of guarantee for such kind of processing. So they don't have to hire a processing team. They don't have to hire a product team to make such kind of products and and keep maintaining it. neither a sales team nor a legal team, because all these processes going to handle by the insurance sector. All bank has to do, give their client, sell their clients to an insurance sector and get some kind of profit from an insurance sector. So let me tell you why banks are doing this. Because most of these employees are doing survival to the fittest. They have to maintain their merit. In this merit, they have to achieve such kind of sales target on daily basis. They have to sell these kind of policies in daily basis. If they fail to sell such kind of policies, they get so many threats from the seniors and the bank managers that they might end up losing their jobs. So they don't have any other option but to sell such kind of policies by stating so many lies, mis-selling them, by saying this is the FD, some kind of FD kind of products, but you can invest in such kind of products and you will get much more return as compared to an FD. And they don't even think twice by fixing someone's hard-earned money for a locking to 5 to 10 years and without even telling them. And even after 5 to 10 years, what they get is least profitable investment one can ever achieve. But that's not some kind of guilty conscience for them, because in return of achieving such kind of target, they attract toward these kind of fancy cruise parties and alcoholic parties in which they just go wild and have drinks with their seniors, and those seniors promise them that they will get a promotion and they will get a high kind of incentives and bonuses this year if they keep selling such kind of policies and if they keep making fool of people like they used to do. That is not the least. At that moment, whenever the customer leaves the branch after purchasing such kind of plans, whole branch, gather and dance well, do a cake cutting and saying "Bakra kat gaya." This is a kind of respect branch is giving to their customers. A bank is doing such kind of unethical events on their daily routine. Because for these kind of people, success is only measured by having hard drinks with their seniors right after if they achieve such kind of targets. So this is why this bank are becoming very, very unethical nowadays, and a person who has no other options will end up doing this kind of banking jobs. So whenever you next time go to these branches and someone from an investment department, so-called investment manager or investment portfolio manager, your relationship manager rush towards you and say, "Sir, we have very fancy plan for you. These plans are giving so much of interest as comparison to any other plan which we used to sell in our previous history." Just sit with that person and tell them, do you even sleep whenever you go to home and you feel like today you make someone fool, an old person who are having some kind of 10 lakh rupees as their retirement funding, and for your sales target you fix that amount for 10 years, and that person don't even know what to do for that 10 years because all their survival was based on that kind of reserve fund. Do you even sleep whenever new person who does not have anything, they are just doing their survival in a new city with their new jobs and they are hardly earning much, and you end up selling up policies to them by saying it will be nurture your future, and for that kind of investment they end up giving high amount of interest in return of useless insurance policies. Do you even sleep? Do you have any karma or do you have any guilty? If you go to a service center and you just put your car over there, and if you do not check that car, I'm sure that person will going to do some kind of malfunction to your car and they will make a high amount billing to that car. Well, this is the country in which we live and we have to keep living. But what we can do to make our living better? Educate yourself. What kind of products these companies are making? What kind of profits these companies are making? Not be a victim of such kind of fraudulent activities. So stay safe and think about wherever you are investing your money. These rascals, they don't have any kind of guilty, and you do have to bear all such kind of consequences for that kind of action. So stay safe and be practical.
Alright, now you must be thinking, how do I know much? Well, I used to work for such kind of bank, and earlier of my career I only deal for institutional clients in which I do not have any kind of target to sell such kind of policies. But later on some kind of mishappening happened to my family and I have to take a transfer to my hometown, and for giving me such kind of transfer in which I have to I was pressurized to sell such kind of insurance policies. But when I went there, I saw these people, they do not have any kind of knowledge of these kind of plans. All they are coming to a branch and I was instructed to not to tell them what we are selling. No one can use such kind of policies in our retail customers. Might need such kind of funds in their daily life, and they do not have that kind of bucket of 1 crore to 2 crore, so that they can invest 10 to 15 lakhs and they will just forget about it. Then I decided to quit my job, and I decided to do such kind of things which are ethical and having some kind of moral values, and fraudulent activities are not one of them. Because in one life, if we spend such kind of life making fool of other people and making their life more miserable, so there is no point of doing such kind of job and earning money of it. So I decided to say no to such kind of activities.